Okay, hi everyone. Well, welcome to Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Remauro. And as you can see, today is Election Day in Tennessee. And so we are sharing our screen. The polls closed at 8 p.m. And so far, nobody is ahead. uh, I'll I'll stop the screen share for a few minutes until we get some information in. But I was making phone calls today, and I would say that we had a pretty good reception. Um, I would say that I got one person who said that they weren't going to vote for Van Epps, but the rest said that they would. I was very surprised and happy that people were answering their phones and they knew about the election. So that was good. Hello, Francine. Good to have you with us this evening. And we have Karen Justusin. I think that we've had you on before. Karen, thank you for joining us tonight. So we'll check in along the way at Tennessee to see how that election is coming, and everybody's predicting that the Republican will win. But I have to tell you that I don't have a lot of confidence in the young voters who think that socialism is a path to a better life for them. And that's, got a lot to do with their parents and what they were taught in school and whether or not their parents can actually have conversations with them. Um, Hello, Angela Recca. I'll be honest with you. I think that we have a real issue in this country. I don't think it's the first time it happened. We know it's not, right? We had in the 50s the Joe McCarthy hearings, and for a long while, people took it seriously that communism was coming to America. But then it became overboard with people's rights being throttled. And ultimately, McCarthy became a joke. But what he was talking about is actually happening right now. Hello, Mama. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed dinner. We made mussels today. So that's what I sent over. They should go to a socialist country for 1 month and see how they like it. You know, Angela, that's a good point. The problem is they won't, right? They're a lot of couch surfers. They don't even read books anymore, and that's how the indoctrination is actually working, right? Because they don't read books in college. It's just what the professor says, and they sit there with their mouths hanging open, hung over from really hanging out, or all chilled out, because pot is legal in so many places, and they just allow themselves to absorb only what's being told to them, and they don't investigate. They don't want to know. They're not interested, and that's a real problem. It's a problem, and that's what we see happening in our streets. That's why we see so many things that years ago we would have went, what? Wait, senators telling military people and senators and veterans telling military people not to follow the president's orders, acting as if the duly elected president, Trump, by the highest number, well, I won't say highest ever, because we know that 2020 fluky election was supposedly higher, but one of the highest numbers of people voter turnout, that he somehow is not a legitimate president. No, I'm sorry. Hello, Kevin Young. Good to have you. Hello, Laura Rodriguez. Good to have you. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Colleen. How's everything? And Ramon, good to have you with us. And Andrew Dorman, good to have you. I was thinking today, I was playing this game that I sometimes play in my head. What would happen if what would happen if all these cities where these young people are gathering, what happens if they all become socialist run cities? And what happens if they come for America proper, right? The Republic. And if they start to try to do to America what they've done in other countries. The difference between their protests and us is that their protests are childish protests. But if we, the people, have to get out there and protest against the dismantling of the Republic, that's going to look a lot different than what's going on with them. And when it happens, are we going to hear them crying foul, foul, foul? That can't happen, because the biggest protest, right, that we, the people, ever put together was January 6th. And they somehow managed to make that into a circus by utilizing the FBI and outside agitators and making it look like as if we were trying to take over the government, which of course that wasn't happening. So, my mind plays what if all the time. And the one thing that I'm certain of is that when we, the people, get together, it is a more serious situation. We're not going to gather together unless there's really issues at hand. And what's going on right now, there are no real issues. There's no real threat to democracy. Because, I don't know one person that believes that a threat to democracy could be stopped by doing aerobics outside an ice center or wearing pussy hats. I just don't. Not any serious people. And it seems to me that we're getting less and less serious, and our elected officials are even worse. But my concern is that the Mamdanis, the AOCs, the not so much the Omars and the Rashids and the Talibs, because they're following, they make sure that they keep their following amongst the people of the country that from which they immigrated. But there are rising stars in the party, in the Democrat Socialist Party, and this Ashton Ben is one of them. She's backed by them. I can't tell you how many reels I watched where someone is interviewing a protester and asking them questions about what they believe or stand for, and they can't answer the question. It's hysterical and sad at the same time. Yeah, it truly is. Hello, Susan Durema. How are you? Hello, Professor. Good to have you. Bill Young, look at you. So good to have you, Billy. All right, let's see if we've got anything going on with that Tennessee race. Hang on a second. Let's see. Okay, so we got Van Apps with 70% of the vote. That's looking good, right? But we have a long, long way to go. I'd like to believe that the people that I spoke to today, who said they were going out and who kept me on the phone. I was really surprised at how people decided to keep me on the phone to talk to me, because they were really concerned about losing the House. So, I love talking to people, but that doesn't always mean that they're going to go out to vote. But I have to tell you that the people of Tennessee they were very, very respectful. I didn't have one person hang up on me. Angela knows, right? Because, volunteer calls are something that we both do. And I will do it no matter what. I've always done it. I still do it. I will always do it because I like to get a feel for what's going on myself. I don't like to listen to pollsters. So whenever there's a big contentious race, I volunteer and I make phone calls, and I get a feel for what's going on in the community. And I love that. But you call in New York, it's like, get lost, drop dead, click, click, click. In Tennessee, it was, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, good to hear from you, ma'am. Yes, I already voted for Mr. Van Epps, and I surely hope that he gets in so he could help President Trump. And or yes, ma'am, I'm going right after work. Do you need me to call you back to tell you that I voted? I mean, and these were the interesting thing was, I think they were Republicans. We didn't get on the sheet. We didn't get whether they were Republican or Democrat. But we got there were a lot of like 30-year-olds, or I wasn't sure what that said. I need glasses. You're right. Fuck the polls. Yeah, I mean, Danielle, is it Danielle or Daniel? I'm Daniel. Sorry. Sorry, I'm blind. And this on my side, the screen is teeny tiny. So sorry about that. So I like to just get in there and hear. And like I said, when I worked for the president, well, not this president, Bush, I was in there making calls. When I worked for Pataki, when I worked for Giuliani, I'll always do it, and I enjoy it. But the protests don't lie. I don't know. Oh, wow. Nothing like New York City. Yeah, absolutely. Very difficult. Keep lying to yourself. What? I don't think so. Okay. Oh, so Daniel is a stalker. Oh, very good. Everybody give applause to Daniel. Thank you for commenting, Daniel. It's good to have you here. And it's very good that you know how to use emojis. And you know how to use a lot of things. Daniel, nobody here got conned, sweetheart. You're getting conned, and nobody here is in a cult. You're in a cult, because here's the difference between Republicans and Democrats is that Democrats aren't allowed to go outside the cult. If they go outside the cult, they wind up getting thrown out of the cult. If Republicans go outside of the popular opinion, they don't get thrown out. You just look at Rand Paul, right? He's questioning some things in Congress. And what was the other one's name? I forget his name. I can't stand him anyway. But the Republicans don't hold the same opinion. We don't walk in lockstep. With individuality and individual liberty is so important to us. And so anytime that I hear all Democrats with the same talking points, I laugh. And Jeffries and Schumer are the ones making, well, more Jeffries are making the talking points, and they're just falling on deaf ears. But I'm so surprised at how many of the Democrats are willing to walk in lockstep, and that says a lot. So Daniel, we're not the ones that are being lied to, dear. You are. And time will show you. I'm not sure how old you are. I'm not sure how many elections you've been a part of, but time will show you. Let's see. Let's speak facts. Well, that we do speak facts, sweetheart. We can agree to disagree. Yes, we can agree to disagree. You tell me what it is that you want to speak about, and we can talk about it. Let's see. He literally changed the name from MAGA to what? I'm not sure. To Republicans, Crockett. Okay. Newsom, AOC. Yeah. What about them? They're, in my opinion, all losers, one and all. Let's see what's going on here. All right. We're still doing pretty good. We're starting to see more of the counties come in. And so that big lead that we saw before is going to grow smaller, but we knew that, right? They said that this was going to be a 5% race because they put Nashville now into the congressional district, where before it wasn't there. But the pundits still felt pretty strong about it. I still say that the one thing that the Socialist Democrats have that neither the Republicans nor the Democrats have is they are organized. And we can see that they're organized because of what we see in the streets, right? With the protests. They're being paid. They're being paid with dark money. That money's not being reported. It's totally illegal, but these people are now professional protesters. And when Trump is in office, that's what they do. They make a lot of money. They do good. And the global elitists are paying good money to people to undermine America. It's as simple as that. And if anyone doesn't see that, I feel very, very badly for them. We don't make videos with 50 people making the same exact speech. No, we don't. No, we don't, because we are thinkers and we think individually. The basic, the economy, the basic fundamentals that hold the country together. Okay, Daniel is going to give us a lesson. The economy, that's right, which is improving every day. Because as you recall, it was Bidenomics that trashed it. Still waiting on my Doge check. I think that 11 months into a presidency, I think that right now you should just look at your gas tank and you should look at the price of eggs. Those two things alone, you should be happy about. If you're thinking that you needed more than that in 11 months, then I think that you don't understand how government works. So I can spend it on tariffs. Tariffs are not creating a problem. As a matter of fact, what's creating the problem is the people that want to use tariffs to pretend that they're raising prices because of that. Interest rates are coming down, and mortgages are easier to get. Paychecks, pay raises are increasing. So, not everybody has felt it yet, but everybody will soon. But just look at the two things. Look at the price of gas. Look at the price of eggs, right? Because that was a big issue. The price of basic groceries all have come down. It's illegal to pay protesters. No, it's illegal to pay protesters with dark money. So in other words, you can't wash money through a not-for-profit and then pay people, with that money, because that's what it's called, right? Money laundering. You donate to a not-for-profit, the not-for-profit pays the people, and the money is washed. That's what it's illegal, especially when it's on behalf of a candidate and or a party. Can the leftist corporations keep prices artificially high to make Trump look bad? Sure, but then the conservative corporations could come in and undercut them. And that's where, here's what I'm finding, which I think is hysterical. I keep telling my husband this. He keeps shopping at Walmart. And I have been saying to him for the last 5 months, honey, you cannot shop at Walmart. Their prices are higher than the local grocery stores. And he doesn't believe it because, Walmart, national chain. Well, Walmart is inflating their prices. But the interesting thing is I'm doing better in Food Lion, Publix, Kroger's, especially with the loyalty rewards cards and stuff like that. So don't shop at Walmart unless you have no choice. And then I feel bad for that. But that's what the free market does, Colleen, right? If they want to set their prices high to try and make Trump look bad, that's the opportunity for other grocery stores or other organizations to come in, open a business, and then swoop in and charge less and make a killing, How about the safety of Americans? Definite improvement. That's number one. I mean, today, I don't know how many people saw his cabinet meeting. It was amazing. Hello, J.A. Good to have you with us. Walmart said Thanksgiving was 25% cheaper this year. It was from them, but their turkeys were 97 cents a pound. Do you know what I paid for my turkey at Food Lion? 29 cents a pound. Okay, so theirs was 25% cheaper. Food Lion was about 40% cheaper than last year. Democrat protesters and immigrants should not be allowed to leave New York City. I don't think that you could stop them legally. I thought 501c3s weren't allowed to contribute or support politics. Do they use loopholes? Well, that's the whole thing, right? They're using the loophole. 501c3 gets the donations. They hire people to protest in the name of immigrants or whatever. The people protest in the street, but it only happens when there's a certain party in office. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't protest against Democrats. They only protest against Republicans. So they may not be overtly supporting a party, but they are supporting a party. I mean, did you see one protest? Well, there were a couple protests when Biden was president, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. Hello from Eastern Canada. Hello, Sean. Good to have you. Thanks for joining. Eggs are lower indeed, way lower. Okay, so let's take a look at Tennessee. What's going on? All right, 51-41. Is that what that says? 51-41. Wait, hold on. Let me see. 57.2 to 41.2. So the lead is holding. It's 24.8%. It's not even 25% of the votes in. But I think that lead is okay. Let's see if I could see a county breakdown here. All right. Oh, Nashville hasn't come in. Okay. Well, that's a problem. We need Nashville in. Because, and I always worry for Nashville. I mean, I don't think that Nashville can. Well, let's just see. Hold on a second. Let me just see. Yeah, if Nashville's not in, we're going to see a big jump because Nashville's going to go for Ben, and Clarksville went for Ben, which is expected. Franklin should go for him. But I don't understand why how they're showing this. Well, let's see. We're going to see once Nashville comes in, we're going to see what the jump is. That might be where it gets closer, right? Is when Nashville comes in. They're saying 25%, but they're showing counties already reporting. So you got me. We'll just keep an eye on it. Okay, so did everybody see? Let me see. Did I? No, I didn't grab anything about this. That Putin split with Maduro today. China and Russia have been kind of mum on what's been going on with Maduro and Venezuela and Trump and the United States, where when it comes to Trump, bombing the drug boats. But today, Putin said to all the Russians in Venezuela that they need to leave. Why is this significant? Well, it's significant because Maduro was basically a lapdog for Putin. And if you recall, probably about a dozen shows back, we talked about how Maduro was kind of trained by Russia and how, he loved Russia and he gave Putin all kinds of awards and things like that. Well, today, Putin officially turned his back on Maduro and he said, we're done, and everybody, if you're Russian, you need to get out of there. And that's in response to Trump stopping the airspace, closing the airspace over Venezuela. But Putin doesn't have the arsenal to help Maduro defend himself. And he certainly doesn't want to get into a skirmish with the United States, especially because, China has been sitting it out as well. And that's where, I called this, called Trump the smartest president ever, because he's not only smart militarily and with his foreign policy, but he brings everything back to a transaction. And the leaders are afraid of him, and they're afraid of losing us as consumers. And they just love when the Mark Kellys of the world and the rest of the idiots in Congress are willing to undermine their country to score some kind of, I don't know, brownie points with something. I don't know. Because at the end of the day, if you're giving up your freedom, for socialism, you're going to lose everything. It's crazy. China and Russian citizens are scooting out of Venezuela. Yeah, they are. And I just want to let's just see again if anything changed. Nothing changed. Okay, so they're waiting on Nashville, and I hate that. I hate that they're waiting on Nashville because we know that in those blue counties, that's where all the crap starts to happen. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so there's still Murfreesboro and Jackson. I didn't realize that was still out. Okay. We should be just fine, but the fact that they're not up in this is getting me a little bit crazy. And I didn't pull anything else to watch it other than that. And we've seen it, right? We've seen it a million times where everything is going swimmingly, and then all of a sudden this blue county stops counting and all the vote tallies stop happening. When did that happen? Oh, 2020. And then all of a sudden a whole bunch of votes come in out of nowhere. I hate that. For Tennessee, he has to win. Yes, he has to win. And the people that I spoke to today on the phone all knew what was going on. But I only got hold of, actually spoke to, I made 100 phone calls and I only spoke to 15 or 10. No, sorry, hold on. I spoke to 15 and actually conversed with 10. That's not good. That's not a good percentage. And I told you, one told me that he didn't vote and he wasn't going to vote for Van Epps, but I don't believe he was going out to vote anyway. He didn't sound committed to voting against Van Epps. All right. I want to just show you a little bit of Trump's meeting, since we don't have a lot of comments coming in. Did everybody see his press conference today? All right, let me pull it up on the screen. Hold on a second. We got to do that. Oh no, we got to. All right, I've got to stop sharing that one in order to do it. Okay, hold on. I'm learning. Here we go. Trump's cabinet meeting.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, for taking your questions. I think this is the most transparent administration I've ever seen.
I'm impressed by these people. I'll tell you, how strong are you? You've been holding it for 2 hours. There are very few physically. There are very few people that do. I'm very proud of you. I have no idea who you are, but you're strong.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, last week, militia groups in Iraq attacked the Christian region's gas field, the largest gas field, which even the U.S. companies invested in the energy sector in the Christian region. And the Christian Prime Minister requested the United States to provide them some sorts of means and defense systems in defending their civilian infrastructure and U.S. investment in the Christian region. Are you willing to providing them this support? And about this question, tomorrow the United States is going to open an military.
Can you speak louder?
Yeah, of course.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
You're the most gentle, beautiful voice. You're a gentle person. Go ahead. Just take fewer words and louder.
Yeah, sure. I repeat my first question. Last week, the Iraqi militia groups attacked one of the largest gas fields in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, which even the U.S. companies have invested in these gas fields.
Yeah.
And then,
are you from Iraq?
I'm from Kurdistan, Iraqi Kurdistan.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm working for Huda Media Network. And the Kurdistan region prime minister, he requested the United States to providing them some sorts of defense system to defending these gas fields and U.S. investment in the Kurdistan region. Are you willing to helping them?
Well, we'll look at it. I heard about it, and I'm hearing about it more now, frankly. It wasn't at the top of my list. It's a very unusual question, I think, but I assume you're from the area, and to you it's a very important question, and to me it is also, because people are being killed. I will say this, Iraq has been much different in terms of us than they were prior to us taking out the nuclear capability of Iran. Iran has gone down many, many steps in terms of its fear factor. They were the bully of the Middle East, and they're really not the bully of the Middle East anymore. And Iraq was being bullied by Iran. We had a president that thought it was brilliant to blow them up, and they blew them up. And all of a sudden, instead of having a power that was basically equal to Iran, they had Iran ruling the Middle East for a long period of time. But Iraq, from the day we hit them with those B-2 bombers and knocked out and obliterated, because CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't total obliteration. Well, it turned out it was totally obliteration. It was every single one of those missiles hit its target. It was actually amazing, but it was wiped out, totally wiped out. I will tell you, Iraq has been a much friendlier place. They talk to us. The prime minister actually nominated me along with about 78 other countries for the Nobel Prize. I'm the only one that was nominated by almost 100 countries that didn't get it, but that's okay. But I saved a lot of lives. But Iraq nominated us for the Nobel Prize, and that was a great honor. You know, we didn't expect that from Iraq. Iraq has been a much different place since the taking out of Iran the nuclear capability. Yeah, let's get to another question.
The meeting.
Here we go. This guy's a beauty.
Secretary Rubio mentioned the meetings ongoing in Russia today. Do you have any update from Mr. Wigfall and Mr. Kushner?
No, because I've been spending too much time with you. I mean, we're spending a lot of time in here. We wanted to do this you talk about being open and transparent. This has to be the most transparent administration in history. We spent a lot of time answering your questions and giving you a lot of good results. I mean, I think everybody here gave you good results, but no, I don't. I will have after I leave here.
But do you hope for a breakthrough, or is it not?
I don't know. Look, I don't know. All I can tell you is that we're trying very hard to save 25 to 30,000 people, mostly men, mostly soldiers, every month. 25,000 to 30,000 soldiers. It's impossible. That's half a stadium. Take a big football stadium. Take half of those people in a stadium, and they're wiped out. They're killed every month. It's crazy. That war is crazy. And it would have never happened with me, and it didn't happen for 4 years.
You just mentioned such potential land strikes. Can you elaborate anything on that? Are you talking
Yeah,
about
I'll elaborate. If they come in through a certain country or any country, or if we think they're building mills for whether it's fentanyl or cocaine. I hear Colombia, the country of Colombia, is making cocaine. They have cocaine manufacturing plants, okay? And then they sell us their cocaine. We appreciate that very much. But yeah, anybody that's doing that and selling it into our country is subject to attack.
So not necessarily just Venezuela.
No, not just Venezuela. No. Venezuela's been very bad. Venezuela's been really bad in something else, probably worse than most, but a lot of other people do it too. They would send murderers into our country. They would empty their jails into our country. They sent people into our country that we don't want. They sent their drug dealers and their drug people into our country. They sent people from their mental institutions into our country, and we're getting them out. That was bad. That was real bad. And they also sent drugs. Yeah.
I'm Tim Walz, Mr. President. Do you think he should resign over the fraud scandal in his state?
And who should?
Tim Walz, over the fraud scandal in his state.
Well, so he didn't say that Tim should resign. He did say that he was happy to that JD wiped the floor with Tim during the debates. But I wanted to show you some of that because could you imagine Biden? That was a 2-hour cabinet meeting. And then after that, and the press was there the whole time. And then after that, he came back out to talk about the birth savings accounts for kids. Biden could never do that. And these people have the nerve to say that there might be something wrong with him. It's just crazy. We're creeping on this, creeping up very, very slowly. I'm talking about like hundreds of votes at a time. It's Tennessee, the counties are much smaller, less populated. So we're not going to see anything. Yeah, you see what's going on here? Let's see what just happened. Hold on, let me see. So we've got a 12 point difference, 37.5% of the counties in. Portions of Nashville have now come in, and actually, interestingly, with portions of Nashville in, Van Epps took a bigger lead. Hold on a second. Lord Almighty, I've got to learn how to do this. So Van Epps took a bigger lead with portions of Nashville in. So that's good. All right. I think that probably I would say that with the next update, depending on where it's from, is estimated remaining 107,000 votes. So, wow, that's a lot of votes. They're estimating it. 107,000 votes. Let's see, trending. And part of it's from Nashville. I can't see it. I can't see him losing. Well, wait a minute. What the fuck am I talking about? Hold on a second. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm reading this all wrong. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. I'm upside down. I'm reading the wrong thing. So she's in the lead. What is going on here? No, Nashville is not looking red. This is not good. They just flipped. And Van Epps is trailing now. Van Epps is trailing by 14%. Oh, no, this is absolutely no good. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, no. No. This, I hate that. I hate when big dumps happen like that. Okay, let me see what's going on here. This is not good. Okay, so 5,000 votes. That's okay. Nashville's in. Okay, we're waiting for Franklin. Okay. Wow. Okay, so the city of Nashville proper has come in, and that gave her a lead. So she got Nashville and Clarksville. Yeah. I don't know. Wow, 5,000 votes can do well. There's still 100,000 out there. It just depends on where they're coming from. So it's 41.6% in. I'm not as familiar as I would like to be with Nashville or with Tennessee, but I think that what are we going to see here? This is crazy. See, that's what I said. I hate when, I just absolutely hate when they take so long to count, and then all of a sudden there's a dump in the city proper. It always works out not well for the Republican. That's why their talk's running late. The tally's running late. Yeah. Well, hopefully. I mean, there's 99,000 out. Okay, he's closing it now. I'm hoping that the next dumps are going to be House count. Let's see what the House county results. All right. Let's see. Okay, Cheatham. Okay, here it is, county by county. Benton, Van Epps, Cheatham. All right, where is you all counties? I don't know enough about this. So where did she? Okay, so Montgomery, that was a neck and neck. Robertson, Wayne. Well, so we're waiting for Williamson. I don't get it. I don't get it. So these must be some big counties outstanding here. Well, hopefully they're red. Okay, so let's turn on the tube where people have been spending spending time getting to know the counties. I do not. I will admit that. I'm going to hope that those counties are red counties. I think that they are. It has been a Republican seat for a long time. It just matters, what kind of number, people came out at. What percentages, what percentage of voters actually came out. So it looks like we've got that county, and that might be it. This would be a horror if it remains this way. I hope it does not. He's closing the lead a little bit. We're down to 7 points, but I mean, this could be a neck and neck. Let's see. Nope. All right, 6%. This is just crazy. This is crazy that she even took the lead. But the Socialist Democrats, this is if people sit on their ass, this is what's going to happen. I'm just glad Nashville's in, because that was important. That was something that we needed to see. I'm glad we weren't waiting into the middle of the night there. House 7 county results. Yeah. I just don't see, where did she pick up all those votes? Oh, okay, got it. Davidson County, 84% for her, and she is 17,000 to 3,000. Holy shit! I mean, everywhere else it was like hundreds separating. Oh, and no, Hickman, he clobbered her pretty good, but still. That was just crazy. Humphreys, he did. Oh, and then Montgomery, that was neck and neck. And I don't know. Oh, well, it's not all in. Okay, I see. So Montgomery. Oh, let's see. Hold on a second. I just want to take a look here. Oh, shit. Davidson County, only half of it's in, and he's taking a walloping. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. I got to tell you something. This should not have been a nail biter, but it is. But that's what happens. They play with the lines, and we've got another one coming in 2026. Yeah. That's what we've got. 46 and 52. So she's that Davidson County is kicking his ass. I don't know where I was calling in today. Thank you and have a good night. All right, Susan, good to see you. I don't know. I just don't even know what to think here, because this should not have been. He should have, he should have taken the lead early and kept on going. The fact that there's a possibility that she could be going to Congress, it should be scary to everybody. It really is. It should be scary. And it really should be scary. That's all I could say. I don't know. My stomach hurts. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're still at the same. 42%. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to let y'all go because this is too painful, and it's also going too long. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be celebrating that seat stayed red, because if we lose another one, we're in deep shit. All right. Ciao.